life, for lack of a better,
Seems like it does.
you know,
Pretty much, yeah.
and they've got their fingers in everything, for crying out loud. So we're going to cover a gamut of stuff today. We're going to cover the American Cancer Society. We're going to cover the Art Council as a whole, and then a couple of things for each one of them. So let's do this first. For those that don't know you guys out there, give them a quick introduction, who you are, and how they may know you.
Okay, well, my name is Ed Chamberlain, and I'm a resident of Muscatine my entire life. And I've been involved in Relay for Life for, I don't know, 25 years probably. American Cancer Society for 25 years or so. Been with the Muscatine Arts Council. Occasionally you might catch me playing in a band somewhere, but I've been, you know, and recently retired from Honda Industries, so
Awesome.
but I've been a lifetime member of the Muscatine community.
Miss Tank.
And like Ed, I also am born and raised in Muscatine, with the exception of being gone a couple of years. I used to work at Unity. I've retired now 4 years. I was at Unity Hospital in the laboratory, so some of you may have known me from there. I also am a member of the American Cancer Society Committee, and I've worked on the relay for as many years as Ed. I think we've been on it the same amount of time. I'm on the Muscatine Arts Council as well, and we do some great things around for the arts here in the community. And also I'm on the Muscatine Trails Committee, which is a really fun, important committee to be on. We work on trying to connect trails and work with other communities on that. And that's just a few things that I have my fingers in.
Well, and you know, the one that, you know, I thought was amazing was at the Muskie Hall of Fame inductions a couple weeks ago. You got to accept the induction for your husband, and that was tremendous. It was great seeing the boys and you guys all together again.
Yes, that was a great honor for our family and for Jeff.
Yeah, that was really cool. So, and I should tell you, I have known these two folks for literally as long as I can remember. Ed went to middle school with my dad, and Diana been around my parents forever. They were on the American Cancer Society Relay for Life board for a long time, way back when it first started. I mean, I remember being out there overnight, 24 hours when I was a kid. You know,
oh yes, absolutely.
Way back, you know, digging tents out and doing, you know, the whole crazy thing out there.
Your
your dad was fantastic. He was such a supporter. He had everything. All we had to say to him was, "Hey, Danny, you have this in your garage somewhere?" And off he'd go, and he'd come back with a whole truckload of stuff to help us get things set up.
If he didn't have it, he knew somebody that did.
Well, I was going to say, so the little secret to that is, most of the time he didn't necessarily have it. He just went out and got it. Then he'd get two of them because he knew one was going to go somewhere else. One would probably honestly end up at my house, right? And then you guys would have it whenever you needed it again.
Yeah, I remember one relay. It was one of the early ones. It was like in April, and it was so cold. And he had bought, I think, 3 of those LP heaters.
The big tall patio heaters.
Patio heaters, and thank goodness we did, because that morning, you know, there again too, it was an overnight thing, and there was ice on the tables from you know, condensation. So yeah, it was chilly and cold. But yeah, your dad, you know, if you needed a tent, you know, I can remember when my daughter and my son both graduated. You know, we hit Denny up, and we were going to rent a tent, and Denny says, "Don't worry about it. I got you covered." You know, and if you ever went by the art center when they had their outside events going on, Denny put the tents up there.
The ice cream was. Oh yeah, oh yeah, I remember those.
So, yeah, those were the good old days. Your dad did quite a bit for the community.
And that was back when we put up like these gigantic tents.
Yeah.
That staked down, and
they were like 20 by 20s.
Different times, and then we'd be constantly fighting with tents. And your dad always had a remedy to how to get them to make.
Well, he thought he had a remedy. Yeah, maybe it worked, maybe it didn't.
Well, somehow or another, it usually did. So.
Yeah. So the relay isn't why we're here. That's just something we all have in common. But the relay was always for the American Cancer Society. And, you know, in my family, my mom's mother had cancer, and that was sort of our impetus for getting involved originally. But then, of course, Dad ended up with pancreatic cancer. And so, you know, it's still always hit really close to our family. So one of the other things that you guys do for the American Cancer Society is the swine ball. Swine ball, you'll see these all over if you haven't already. Big purple pigs, like, well, I mean, I guess they're purple. They're pinkish purple.
Pinkish purple, yeah.
We're gonna call them purple for today. So swine ball, again, for those that don't know, there's a lot of us that do, but what is the swine ball? It's fun.
It's a fun, this is our second year starting it. We did it actually once about, probably 20 some years ago.
It was a long time
And then
ago.
we
I remember
were kind of talking about the relay itself and how the numbers had gone down a little with our relay event, and kind of maybe time to think about doing a different type of fundraiser for a little bit. And we said, let's revive the swine ball. So we went back to old pictures, and then we got all excited at our committee meeting, and then we've got a great, wonderful committee that works on this with us. We have so much fun with it, and really a great thing. So it's just an event to have fun, and you wear outrageous, tacky, crazy clothes, and we've got a hog calling contest, a king and queen of the ball.
I'm not going to say anything, Ed. I'm not going to say anything.
Well, you know,
I promise.
I
won't say
normally
anything.
dress like this anyway. So. But you know, this is, and I'm not going to say this is how I will dress that evening, because you know, I've still got some time. But it's a chance to you know, to kind of let your hair down and you know, a way to celebrate. You know, I don't want to say celebrate cancer, but celebrate people that are survived, and you know, a good way to remember and still have fun, because you know, that's the whole idea is we wanted to do something. You know, you have to reinvent the wheel, and that's what we did. You know, we tried a few different things, and we thought, like Diane said, let's do something. Let's try to bring back the swine ball. So, and last year we had it at the Muscatine Hotel, the old Muscatine Hotel, and we realized that evening that at that point we had already outgrown
that,
you know,
one event. So
this year we've moved it to the Rendezvous, and it's on April 1st, April Fool's Day, the Saturday, which, you know, it's Muscatine. There's a lot of stuff going on. You know, you've got the girls' fun weekend, and
Girls Getaway,
trivia night. So, you know, if you're doing one of those things, come on out and join us, and
include us in your fun.
You know, I know if you go out and you've seen that beautiful fashion show in the morning, don't look for beautiful fashion when you go to the swine ball. But, but that's the whole idea. Is just, you know, let's go out and have some fun. So there'll be a king and queen
crowd. We have a DJ, great food. We'll play pig trivia throughout the night, just kind of like for fun, and just have prizes for stuff. And it's just interactive. It's fun. It's just a great evening, really.
Should I mention a red carpet event?
Oh, you might mention the red carpet.
There's going to be a red carpet event there. So so as you come in, you might get your picture taken
just
on
like the
red
Oscars.
carpet.
Wow.
So
I get to come in the back door though, right? Low profile, in and out. So it's dinner, cash bar, right? It's $30 per person in advance, $35 at the door. So be smart, get it early. And you can do that. It's acsengage.org/swineball, and it's on all the flyers. If you type in swine ball Cancer Society, you're gonna find it on Google. Don't feel like you have to have the exact thing. Or for those of you that, as you're walking around, you see one of these, just remember you can point your camera on your phone at this, touch it, and it'll bring it all up for you. So,
and also there's a Facebook event out there as well.
So just type it into Google. Google will do the work.
It'll get you there.
And if you have some friends, this is where it really gets interesting. If you have 8 friends, you can actually get a table for $200. So
it's a savings of a chunk.
Yeah,
$40.
So really just and get a big group together and come on down and get a table, and
And you know, there'll be a signature drink, and it's going to be a fun event.
The decorations
are
a hoot. They're just hilarious. It's just you just have so much fun. You just kind of can't believe it, really. It's just
and you know, this is the kicker about cancer. And you know, I went through it with my grandma as a kid, and then with my dad, you know 7, 8 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. It sucks. I mean, like, let's just call a spade a spade. It sucks. But yet there are a lot of great things that come out of it. You know, like the relationships, like Dad would always talk about, so he had pancreatic cancer. survived just shy of 5 years, right? And he always considered that borrowed time, right? So he made the most of it. I mean, and you guys witnessed this.
Right.
You know, you were a part of
Absolutely.
those 5 years, and I honestly think he lived more in those 5 years than he did the first 55, in some ways.
Well, I remember your dad getting a tattoo. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, like he would have never done that prior. Like
yeah,
he
and
just
it's-
wouldn't have.
Like
right?
you said, he knew as he was on borrowed time, and he took advantage of it.
Yeah.
You know,
He
and
was always upbeat. Every time
and-
you'd see him, he was helping people. He still
Right.
continuously helped people.
He
and
did.
He was constantly there for you if you needed anything.
And
he
that's
was so
the
great.
that's the kicker about cancer, right? Like, it sucks.
Yes,
It
does.
sucks. It sucks. It sucks. But if you have a group of people around you that support you, and you know, you can still live. Even, you know, pancreatic cancer is one of the worst, most aggressive things you can go through. Even when you have that and you have the right friends, it can still be great, right? And if it's something that's treatable, even better. And so many things, you know, have become treatable because of events like this,
Right.
right? And,
Right.
you know, like Dad would have never had the 5 years he did had all these things not been going on for the last 20 years,
Yeah.
30 years, whatever it is, right? And so, you know, have that, and that was one thing I always loved about the relay, and we'll probably talk about the survivor dinner here just a little bit, but you know, the relay was always, it had this balancing effect, right? Like everybody was there and had fun, but you had the candles, you had the survivor laps, you had the honorary survivors that remind everybody why they're there, as if you needed a reminder,
Right.
right?
Sure.
And you guys have always done a tremendous job of bringing that to the local level.
Well, I like to point out too that we're so lucky to have the University of Iowa in our back door, because people need to know that things are happening in
Yeah.
cancer. They are making some great strides, and we just have to keep funding them. We just have to keep being there for them and help them out with the grants, and get people that are working for under a American Cancer Society grant, which there's one or two at this point at the university that their research is being done with the American Cancer Society grant.
Yeah,
So,
and that's, you know, Muscatine, it's just up to us. And I say this a lot and on a lot of topics, but, you know, it's all about the community. It's all about doing something that you enjoy, and, you know, hang out with your friends, have fun, do something good while you're at it.
Right.
So the swine ball is easy. Just do it. Just do it. Put it on the calendar, do it. The survivor dinner. Talk to me about what that looks like now, because it was always kind of a thing that kicked off the relay, right? So how are you guys going to do that this year?
Well, this year, it's the same thing as last year. Last year, we were fortunate enough to have the American Legion sponsor, provide a facility for us to have the dinner. The dinner's all,
yep. All free.
it's all, what do I want to say?
Donated.
It's all donated.
Gotcha.
And, you know, it's the maid rights, and it's open to not only cancer survivors, but the caregivers. And, you know, instead of calling it a survivor dinner, we call it a heroes celebration, because let's face it, I mean, you know, you've survived cancer, you're fighting cancer, caregivers, they're all heroes.
Yeah.
You know, we've all had been involved. Cancer hasn't affected, there's hardly anybody that's never been affected by cancer, you know, and it's a way for us to honor and recognize these people, and let them know that, again, it's a small thing we can do is to give you guys a dinner, but you know, it's our way of honoring you guys.
Well,
you know?
and go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that you don't even need an invitation. You
Yeah.
don't need, and you just come down. Just bring your family, your caregivers. Come on down. And we are sending out cards. The previous survivors will get a card in the mail to remind them of the date. So hopefully that they will then.
And
when is it?
That is the
21st, I
The
believe.
21st, yes.
Okay.
A lot of dates going on in my head.
I think it's, and I
21st.
think it's I believe it's a Thursday.
Yeah, it's a
I
Thursday.
believe so.
And we'll make sure that it's out.
And it's at the
in Messenger.
American Legion, and I think it starts at 5:30.
5.
Yeah,
Let's call it dinner
Five,
time.
yeah.
It starts at dinner
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
right?
Come on in.
So,
down
you know,
there
come
go.
down, have a maid right. I think there's generally potato salad
Oh,
and,
yeah.
you know, a few
Oh, there's
sides.
some,
Awesome.
some treats, some good desserts.
you
and
know,
stuff,
it-
so.
Like the Legion, like I say, they do a nice job of hosting it for us, and You know, it's a great facility. Everybody knows where it's at. It's on Hauser Street, and it's just nice to be able to do that, to partner with them, and you know.
Yeah. And one thing that I want to make sure personally, this is one thing that I love about the American Cancer Society and how it works. And I remember this, again, way back when I was young. It's the people of the community that do this,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So the American Cancer Society, it's not like there's some, I mean, there is staff that helps you guys do it, but
Right.
they're not driving this, folks. This is everything you see here in Muscatine, American Cancer Society related, is this committee of Muscatine people doing this stuff. Yeah, again, they get support and resources and stuff from the larger organization, but the boots on the ground, it's all people you know, it's all people that you run into at Hy-Vee, right?
Right.
And
We
Yeah.
do definitely have a great committee this year.
We really do.
Actually, last
I was just saying,
year
can you name them all? Can you shout them out? On the
Oh,
spot, on the
Yeah, we got a
spot.
couple new ones that are,
Yeah.
right now we got to kind of remember their names. but,
yeah, it's, I mean, I hate that.
well,
Yeah.
Sherry Reno,
Sherry
Sherry
Reno.
Reno, Becky
Uh,
and Greg Anson,
Yep.
Ed and myself, and Tyler. I can't think of his last name. Last name escaped
So-
me. He's a
Yeah.
new one. Just
Yep.
came on.
And Mike Batenhorst.
Mike
has been
Batenhorst, yep,
around,
Yes.
and,
forever,
you know,
yep.
Mike's another one that's been with us for
He
forever.
was
and,
there at the beginning, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and you know,
Do you
I hate-
guys, I have an idea. Sorry to totally
Okay.
interrupt. Do you think you could get Mike to run laps around here
Oh,
like the way he used to at the relay? Like maybe Mike, I'm just shouting, not calling you out on TV or anything, but I think before this, you should come in your running gear, run some laps, and then get all duded up for the swine bowl.
There you go. There you go.
so yeah, it's
Maybe he'll dress up like that, the runner. He can run
Oh,
up
that
like
could
a
be.
runner.
Or like he could do like an old school 80s.
Yeah,
'cause
he
it was
could wear
probably
the
the
really
80s
short
when that's.
shorts and everything.
Yeah,
you
like
know, and,
like what he would have worn to run back at like the first relay. All right, Batenhorst.
there's
So
the challenge. Yep.
yeah, so that's. Is there anything else going on with Cancer Society that we should talk about real quick?
I think that's probably
think-
it on the ACS side. The Survivor, the Hero Celebration, and the
Yep.
Swine Ball were the two
Yep.
things under
That's-
that.
that's the
under
biggies, yep,
American
that's-
Cancer Society,
And
yeah.
and this is the big signature event.
That is
Like
correct.
this
yeah.
is, if you did anything like with the Relay for Life or supported it in any way, this is the new relay for now, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
And all the funds, I always like to remind people too that for any programming or anything that anybody in this community needs help with, that this is what supports it.
Gotcha.
You know, it's not just, it doesn't go off to some la la
Right.
land.
Right.
Research and basically anything needed in this community.
Okay, so it's time to switch up our hats. All right,
Okay.
you gonna wear his hat for a while to switch this up so we know that we're talking about something else now? So now we're over to the Arts Council, okay? And the Arts Council does a great job of just trying to, and this is the outside looking in, this is how I perceive what you guys do. I think you guys do a great job of just trying to integrate art into the community in a way that you don't always realize it's there, but you're getting all the benefits of it. Like, and I want to go to Wandering Words first, if that's okay.
Sure.
Because it's, and Chris has got some pictures of this, because I see one of these every morning that I go to the Y, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's, I don't even know how many of them there are.
Well, this is, I believe, the 6th year of Wandering Words. I might be wrong. It's either the 5th, I think, but I think it's the 6th. But the whole concept was for every year they were going to take 5 poems that,
Yep.
and have them etched or stamped in concrete. And
Etched, that's the word we were looking
etched.
for, Chris.
The original,
Oh my goodness.
The
etched.
original ones, actually, they had a form made and they were stamped in wet concrete, which that, you know, it kind of presents a problem there. I mean, you have to find a place where they're doing it.
Yep.
And I mean, if you go to Weed Park, there's one at the lagoon. If you get over by Madison School, there's some, the original ones. So they came up with the
Downtown.
idea. Jim Edgman and Dave Ellis have worked on, is there another way of putting it in? And so Jim Edgman, who was the city engineer at the time, said, well, what about etching them? So he, you know, came up with this idea of sandblasting them and coloring it in, and so that's how that whole project started. Well, unfortunately, with all the work on 2nd Street, we've lost a handful of them, you know, because they've, you know,
Yep.
changed the concrete out and that. So So to be honest with you, I'm not really sure how many there are out there. I'm guessing probably 20
I was
maybe
going to say 20.
throughout
Sounds about
the
right.
city. And
Yeah.
like you said, there's one at the Y, and that
It's
was a new addition.
Yep,
one
that's
in
the
front,
Dandelion one.
Some
Yep,
downtown.
one in front of the
there's
Contrary. There's the soccer complex.
The library.
The library. You know, and if
Chris
you-
has got some pictures up, so you can kind of see what they look like. But what I love about it is, again, it's one of those like subtle, like you don't necessarily realize, oh, hey, I'm walking into the Y, I'm going to get my poetry for the day, right? Like, but it also just kind of sits with you, and you're like, oh yeah, that's one more cool thing about Muscatine. Like, how did that get there? Well, a whole bunch of people that care about the community said, hey, you know what? Here's an idea, let's run with it. And so, wandering words, what else do we need to know? Are there more coming?
Well, actually, with National Poetry Month, we've been doing this for the last 5 or 6 years. I believe it's 6 this year. But anyway, we have a competition. I don't want to call it a competition, but we offer local poets from the Muscatine County the opportunity to submit up to 2 poems, and then at the end of the month, we have a judge that will go through them and you know, read them, and she'll come up with 5 that she feels that are winners, and then of course we have some honorable mentions, and then their works will be placed in concrete in Muscatine. So, and as far as anybody that's a resident of the Muscatine County, doesn't matter if you're a grade schooler or if you're 90 years old,
No age limit.
you know, there's no age limit. You know, a few of the things you got to remember is it's in public, so you have to, be respectful
Well,
for
right.
You know,
Remember your
Remember
audience,
your
and
audience.
context is key.
It
right?
is.
Context
And
You
they're
know,
short poems. They're
short
they're
poems.
Short.
But the whole idea of being able to, it's like you said, you see them in the concrete, and for a poet to actually say, it's great, I walk downtown and I see my work, and I see this all the time too. You're either driving through the downtown area, or maybe doing some business downtown, and you'll see somebody, like you said, they're standing there and reading it, and we've had people that have been out of town that were maybe at the Merrill, and have, that's one of the things that they've said, it's really nice to see some of this work. You don't see it everywhere.
Right.
So.
Doesn't the Merrill have, or they were going to have like the location of the poems, at least in the downtown area, so that when people did come in as something to do, a little walking tour of looking at the poetry.
That's something we could definitely pull off and
Yeah.
put in our
Yeah.
directory, and
Okay.
that would actually be really easy. Chris, you got a project. While you're at it, get all your murals, and we'll just combine it into one walking
Just
put
be
them on
updated
there
every
too,
year with
so
the new
yeah.
ones that go in.
Yeah, actually, that would be ridiculously easy for us
That
to
would
do.
be a really nice
But
thing.
ridiculously
So yeah, so I mean, it's you can go again too. There'll be there's a graphic. I'm sure there'll be cards out.
Yep.
Same thing with the code. You can scan the code and it will take you to the website and explain all the little things you need to know.
All the
you
criteria.
Know, the
for
criteria.
submitting
And,
a
but
poem.
yeah, it really is a great opportunity for local poets to have their work,
Yeah.
etched in stone.
Literally, etched in
literally.
stone.
So, and and like I said, it's open to, all age groups. So it's you don't have to be a member of a poet group or whatever, and
Yeah.
So the one that I think is the coolest is I didn't really save it for last. We got two things left to talk about, but Art Array is kind of the biggie, right? Art Array is, here, you tell us what Art Array is. You're going to do it way better than me anyway.
Well, Art Array is art contest, so to
Yep.
speak, of anybody within the 50-mile radius. So I call it local art.
Right.
Within a 50-mile radius can submit 2 pieces, up to 2 pieces. There's some criteria involved, size, certain things. It's adjudged. The judges this year are James Hayes from out at the
high
MCC.
school. Or MC, yeah.
He's the art instructor out there. And then Mary Alice Sessler. And Mary Alice has been an art teacher for years and years.
Mary Alice is one of my favorite people on the planet.
Yes,
I
she's
have to do
fantastic.
a 30-second shout out. Mary Alice was my elementary school art teacher at Colorado. I will never forget us making this cast sculpture as a class, the visiting artists, never forget those things. And then when I was at MCC, 15, 18, whatever it was later, she was my art teacher at MCC. And so it was just so much fun to like kind of revisit some stuff.
Right.
And I mean, not that we talked about the same stuff exactly, but just that same Mary Alice.
Oh yes, she's
just
Yeah.
I don't even.
She's genuine.
She's very outgoing.
Yeah,
and
she's just
very
wonderful.
knowledgeable.
Yep.
She's really interesting to talk to.
Oh my God, blast! Absolute blast. Okay, so James
anyhow,
and James
so
is a blast.
then-
Oh, hold
yeah,
on,
James
James
is-
is a blast too. Like
Oh, yeah.
James super awesome. We don't want to. James funny.
Yeah.
James pretty
Yeah.
funny. Anyway,
So yeah, those two were the judges,
Yep.
and so what they do is that the artists submit their work through an email, and then they take a quick look at it as electronically first, and then they can kind of make a decision if there's something that's, they can go by the criteria and they have to look at all that and make a decision whether it's accepted or not. And then after that, the artists bring their pieces in framed and ready to go and ready to hang. And then the art center designates 3 rooms, I believe it is, that the art gets exhibited. And it'll be exhibited for up to 2 months. I think it's up till May sometime.
The end of May. I
End of
believe,
May.
yeah.
So it'll be up for the public to see. And then tomorrow evening is a opening ceremony, celebration. So the judges will be there, they'll talk to the group, the artists come down, the winners are announced tomorrow night. So they get 3 winners, first, second, and third, and they get a cash prize. It's $500 for the first place, $400 for
Nice.
second. So they get
hold
some
on, Chris,
cash
give me
out
a
of
pencil.
this.
I'm going.
Well, unfortunately, it's a little too late.
I'm getting it. I'm in for next year.
Next year,
James,
so-
watch out, it's coming.
So anyhow, no, they submit their artwork, and then the public comes in, like I said, and tomorrow night then there'll be a Q&A time with the judges. They'll talk about why they selected the ones that they did, and then these artists get awarded prizes. And we'll have a little kind of social hour, so to speak, at the art center. So it's open to the public. So if you want to come over to the art center and view these pieces before anybody else gets to, the public, but otherwise come in anytime for the next couple months and you can see these. But it's great to be able to, they have plaques made for them. Virginia at the art center goes to great lengths to make plaques with the titles, the artist names, and it's really kind of a nice exhibit that they get to have out for that time frame.
Well, and that fits into what, again, these things that support Muscatine, in this case artists, and showcase them. I think Muscatine has this thing a lot of times where we think that only good stuff comes from outside of Muscatine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like all the good this or that, it's somewhere else. Well, that's not, sometimes it's true, of course, but we have a lot of great, talented people in this community across all, whether it's art, sports, the business world, and sometimes I think things like this help us recognize that. And, it's on us as the community to go enjoy this stuff, right? Like, Wandering Words is a little different. You get that kind of gets brought to you wherever you go, right?
That's correct.
But you know what? Get up off your tushes. Everybody says there's nothing to do in Muscatine. Baloney, right? Tomorrow night, get up, go out, and see what other people in the community have done, and you will enjoy yourself. I guarantee you that you will enjoy yourself.
The art center is free anytime that
Yep.
you want to go. My grandchildren love to go and play in that room that they have, dress up, and I can't get them out of there. I remember one time I was trying to get home to an Iowa game, and I was like, "Come on, girls, aren't you ready yet?"
It's time to go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
But they love it, and they like to go see the exhibits, and they ask about it. They want to know when they come to town, can they go to the art center? So they really have enjoyed that through the years. So.
That's awesome. And so as we talk about that actually kind of rolls right into the community stage very well, right?
Well, we are really fortunate to be able to partner with the Muscatine Art Center. And like, we've been talking about the Muscatine Art Center, Laura Musser Museum. It really is a great facility. We are so fortunate to have these kind of things in our backyard, and just not only what the work that you'll be able to see in the next month that we're involved with, just the amount of art that's there.
Have
it's
you
just
seen
a
the
great
sculptures yet?
representative of stuff.
Have you guys? Melanie was here maybe 2 weeks ago on the show, and we were talking about I don't remember the artist's name, but they're these hyper realistic sculptures that are there right now.
Okay, I
Hey,
see.
do you think they're real?
Oh yeah, oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
oh my goodness, you
Even
just-
looking at the pictures, it's like almost, it's that
they are
uncanny valley,
awesome. Yeah.
almost creepy but awesome sort of a
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
So,
Everybody should go see those.
yeah,
I
go
would
see
highly
those.
recommend those.
And
yes.
tomorrow night,
You can stop
at-
by and see them too.
yeah,
tomorrow night.
exactly. So tomorrow night, what time is and then we'll get back to the community
5:15
stage.
is when it
5:15,
starts.
okay.
So,
And then the people, the public and the artists can roam around a little bit and see
Yep.
everybody else's works. And then we move everybody to the music room and then have a little time where the winners
Cool.
are announced.
Awesome.
So,
it also gives you an opportunity too to talk to some of these local artists
Yep.
and get their interpretation of maybe what their work in that too. But yeah, it's a really great idea, and this is
this is the fourth
the
year.
fourth
for it.
year. The first year we did it, the artwork was hung, and then COVID came and the museum was shut down, so it was a virtual.
Yep.
And then this will be the third actual one, and that the public was
We'll
open
have,
to.
we'll have
So
quite a few people there. Last year we had quite a few, so
Awesome.
which is good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, the whole reason we went that way was we were talking about the art center.
That's
and,
correct.
And so we're going to swing all
So
the way
it's-
back around to
Well,
the stage.
okay, the whole concept of the Muscatine Community Stage was the idea. There's a lot of local art musicians and poets and a lot of things in Muscatine that go on, or Muscatine County. I don't want to just say Muscatine because we're
Right.
actually Muscatine County. So what we thought, let's give the Muscatine people a format and a platform so they can come and either maybe show us what they're doing or whatever. And so last year was the first one. We had one in August, and it was well received. We had last year we had the Muscatine Brass Band, who the reason we had them was because of during the dark days of COVID, they came out on the street and they played, they brought a little sunshine to dark era.
Yep.
And then we had artists, writers on the avenues camp, and then we also had the puppets from the West Liberty Puppet.
Yep.
So
the Euland.
Ollens, yeah,
Yeah, I cannot say like Euland Spiegel.
you and Spiegel.
Yeah.
But anyway,
We all know who they are.
And then,
we all know.
And then the art center, Katie at the art center provided some crafts and stuff for kids, and so it was well received. So we thought about let's bring her back. So the intention is that on April 27th will be the next Muscatine Community Stage, and again we've asked writers on the avenue to come, and we have some poets coming again, and then we have with the Muscatine Public Library, they have a program down there with Emerson Taylor. I don't know if you met Emerson Taylor, but he has a youth program called the Library of Rock, and then he has some young, and we're talking 5th through 8th grade, I believe, songwriters that he's been working with.
Oh.
So anyway, so we have them also lined up to come in on that day, and I'm sure that we still have some room if there's something else, somebody else wants to come in. I'll put my phone number out there as a text. You can text me at 563-260-3508, and I'm sure that
Blow him up, folks.
boy. But anyway, the whole idea is it is the community stage.
Yep.
So if you have something that you want to promote, or you have some art you want to do, or maybe a local musician that wants to come and
Play your guitar.
play your guitar, or
Yeah, just pop
But
out.
it's a
Well, not
family.
just pop
Not
we
pop
love to-
out.
Yeah, no, not
Yeah.
pop out. What I meant was
and it's from
contact Ed,
Yeah.
pop in and be a part of it after you've planned for it. That's what I meant.
And it starts at 5:30 and it goes till 7. The museum's open on Thursday evenings, and hopefully we'll be outside. If not, it will be in the music room. I think we've talked about. Who knows what the weather's going to be like?
Yeah.
What, we have snow last week. It's
A
been
little bit, yeah.
It's been a
A little bit.
crazy. It's been a crazy winter. Hasn't been a bad winter.
No, it
It's
hasn't.
been kind
No,
of
we've
long
been pretty
though.
lucky. Yeah.
It can go home now, as far as I'm
I was in
concerned.
Iowa City last night, and something I haven't seen in Muscatine is snow in a parking lot piled up.
Well, that was, we were in Des Moines and like sides of the street, like you were climbing
Yeah.
over piles of snow.
And you know,
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
so
But
Lots of snow.
All
the one
good.
thing that we can say too about the community stage, another thing is that Katie Lose does such a great job with her crafting. And last year it was so cool because she was on the front porch of the museum. So she did some little shrinky-dink things, and kids really loved it. And the parents that came by with their kids said they really thought that was such a great idea and was hoping we'd do it again. So
Well, that's
actually
awesome.
the community kind of spoke on that and said, please continue to do this because we love it. We have them
awesome.
bring a blanket and just sit outside when right by where the stage is at, if the weather's nice, of course.
where do you put
but-
the stage at?
they had, you know where that house used to be that they moved?
Uh-huh.
Well, they've got a nice, I call it an amphitheater,
Yep.
but
Oh,
you know,
right,
they've got the basement still there and it's surrounded. And
Oh, yeah.
It sounds
Yeah.
nice. And it's just comfortable outside.
Yeah.
And you've got that little hill, grassy knoll or hill area. I
Let's
know
not
I don't
call it
wanna-
a grassy
I don't wanna
knoll.
call
Let's
it
not
a
call it a
grassy-
grassy knoll. It's safe,
anyway,
folks.
yeah.
Ed's not trying to assassinate it. It's safe, I promise.
But yeah, so anyway, there's that nice area there, and
Yep.
and again, you know, I can't say enough nice things about the art center.
Yep.
I mean, it really is. It's a great facility, and we've been able to partner with them. We've also partnered with the library. We do our summer concert series there, which will be this summer again too,
Coming up,
and
yep.
starting in June. So.
As you can see, just going through this list, the Muscatine Arts Council really puts on a lot of programs throughout the
Yes,
year.
you do.
We have a lot of programming, and we love to do it, but it is really nice to be able to offer that to the community.
It is, and there's always something going on.
There is.
You know, it's-
Well, there's always some. You know, there again, like you said, people go, well, there's nothing to do in Muscatine. People get out of your house. There's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
sorts of things in Muscatine,
Yep.
and
There's
it
so
does-
much stuff out there that they can even look on Facebook and find. I mean,
Yep.
just look around and
Yep.
see what's listed out there. And everybody advertises their stuff that they're doing, you know. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of opportunities in Muscatine
Yep.
to just get out and do something. So.
Awesome. Is there anything, we covered a ton. We're going to do a quick recap because I always have to have recaps because otherwise it doesn't stick in my head,
Okay.
so everybody gets one, right?
Yeah.
So first thing, Swine Ball, right?
Yes.
April 1st, April Fool's Day, go have fun out at the Rendezvous. You can get your tickets now, $30, $35 at the door. Bring 7 other friends, it's $200 for a table.
Yeah, yeah.
Then we also have the Heroes Tribute Celebration coming up as well, which was
I think
right.
it's
April 21st.
April
I
21st,
believe.
okay? And again, just check the community calendars
Yeah,
for it. And then on the Art Council side, we have Wandering Words. Keep an eye out for all those.
First of April through the end of April is when you
When
need
you can
to
submit.
Submit.
Yep. And then, and again, community, enjoy them as you're walking around. Then Art Array is tomorrow night, and that's essentially the opening of the exhibit of Muscatine artists that you guys have collected the artwork, yeah. And it's been judged, it's ready to go. That's the whole Mary Alice, James Hayes
Yep,
thing,
yep.
helped with
They'll
that.
be there to tell you about why they chose
Yep.
the ones they chose.
And so that'll be at the Art Center tomorrow night. And then when is the open or the community stage?
Community stage, we're looking at, I believe, April 27th.
And I'm sure you'll let us
It's a
know
Thursday
for
evening.
sure.
Yeah,
and
there'll
we'll
be
get it out
more
for you.
between.
Yep.
You know, look at our website and the Muscatine Arts Center's
Yep.
website and that. So,
Yep.
and like I say, there again too, if you want to be involved in the Muscatine community stage, text 563-260-3508.
Awesome. Well, thank you two for stopping in. It's been a pleasure as always.
Thanks
It's
for
always
having
great
us,
to see you.
Chris.
Thanks
It's
for
always
having us.
always
Yeah.
great visiting with you and
Yeah, it's been a blast.
seeing you and your mom out on the ever
Yeah.
so often. And
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so
awesome. Well, again, thank you guys. Muscatine, get out, go do something, and we will see you tomorrow.
Okay, we're done then, right?
Yes. Yep.
now you can go shop. I gotta get out of this monkey suit.
It's an oil change now.
Oh, yeah.
Car.
I got